Hello and welcome. I'm Amedio602 and today we're going to talk about 6 great tips that are going to help you improve at any first-person shooter game. The gameplay in the background is Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and you're going to see me practicing all of these things in that gameplay. Before we get started though, I'd like to give a huge shout out to everyone. I appreciate all the support on my Platinum Trophy Guide for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. A lot of you have probably already seen that video, but just in case you haven't, I'm going to have a link to that down in the description below, as well as a card up on the screen right now. That Platinum Trophy Guide is on its way to becoming the #1 viewed video on this channel right now. It's about to pass the Blackout Sniping Tips video. That video is a little bit older, but it does cover 30 tips and tricks. About half of them are specific to snipers, about half of them are just kind of Blackout in general. First thing I'd like to talk about today is centering. And centering is just where your character is looking while you're moving around and while you're playing the game. You see a lot of players who are looking down at the floor while they walk, or they're looking up at the sky, or they're looking at the middle of a wall somewhere. Think about it this way. If I'm staring at the middle of a wall, and someone comes around the corner, and he sees me, who's going to get the first shot on target? It's going to be the other guy. It's not going to be me because I was busy looking at a wall. The same thing's true if you're looking up at the sky or down at the floor. So the very first thing you need to do, especially if you're a new player to first-person shooters, is you need to just practice moving around, and you need to practice strafing. Strafing, for anyone that doesn't know, strafing is just walking side to side, and you're going to see me strafe all over in the gameplay on the screen. You're never going to be competitive in any online shooter unless you can strafe properly and unless you can keep your crosshairs centered where you think the enemies will be. And where you think the enemies will be is my second big tip, and that is situational awareness. Having good situational awareness is paramount to any first-person shooter. You need to know where your team is, you need to know where the enemies are, you need to be able to hear them, you need to be able to see them. If you're not using good equipment, I use these Astro A50s right here with the leather mod kit attached. There's an Amazon affiliate link down below if you're looking to pick up a pair just like mine. You don't have to go out and buy a $200, $300 headset though. I've used Sony PS Golds, they work great. I've used Turtle Beaches, they work great. This is just a cheap pair of studio headphones. These are One Audio. You can get these for about $25 or $30 on Amazon. They come with this nice big long cord. Something like this is fine. Ever seen a pair of these? Just good old earbuds. Something like this works great too. Whatever you have laying around the house, headset is very important. You need to be able to hear where the enemies are. You need to be able to hear your teammates. Having a microphone is great too, so you can increase situational awareness for your teammates. But that's not nearly as important as having a headset, earbuds, something you can put on your ears so that you can hear the game sounds better. Because your TV speakers, I don't care how much you spend on them, I don't care how great they are for movies, they're not cutting it for your games. Hello? Hello? No, I probably wouldn't recommend a tin can with a string. Or, in this case, a tin can with a USB cable. But seriously, anything you have laying around the house is probably going to be better than listening through your TV speakers. Another key to good situational awareness and knowing where your enemies are likely going to be is knowledge of the map and knowledge of the spawn system in the game that you're playing. Going along with knowledge of the map also means you need to know where the high ground is, where the cover is, and any special things about the map. A lot of games have destructible buildings in their maps. You need to know which buildings can be destroyed and how to destroy them. Going along with knowledge of the map, we have our third big tip for today, which is positioning. There are 3 things you really want to look out for with positioning. The first is a height advantage over your enemies. The second is any kind of cover or concealment that you can find. And the third, of course, is a knowledge of the spawn system. Because if you're sitting all the way back in a corner of the map and no one's coming that way, what good is your great position if you can't kill anyone, right? When you combine these 3 tips, centering, situational awareness, and positioning, you're going to notice that you have a significant advantage in most fights. If you have high ground, and if you have good cover, or in this case, concealment, and you know where the enemies are going to be coming from, you're going to have a huge advantage. And if you have your crosshairs centered on exactly the corner they're about to go around, it's even better. And of course you know all that because you have great map knowledge and situational awareness. Now that we've covered the first three things, which really has to do with where your character is, let's talk about weapon familiarity, and that's tip number 4. Whichever gun you're using in whichever game you're using, you have to be familiar with it, which means you need to practice with it. You have to learn the recoil patterns for whatever gun you're using. You have to learn how quickly it fires, how quickly it'll recenter, things like that. If you're playing a game like Call of Duty where you have different attachments on your guns, you have to learn what the different attachments do and which ones work best for you. You have to know how competitive your gun is compared to the other guns in the game. Are you using a really fast killing weapon that's only good up close, like a shotgun? Or maybe it's a sniper rifle and you should keep your distance. In any case, weapon familiarity needs to go along with your positioning, your situational awareness, and of course, your weapon needs to be centered correctly. Taking these first 4 tips, putting them all together, what you need to do is you need to practice this, and you should warm up before you play a game. And I'm just as guilty as everyone else. I don't always run warm-ups. But there are a lot of games out there where you can just play against computer bots and get yourself warmed up. The human brain is an amazing thing. So if I just play Call of Duty once every month, then I'm not going to get a lot better at the game because there's not enough repetition for the brain. But if you play just a few minutes every single day, or most days, what's going to happen is you're going to build up muscle memory, and your brain is going to learn that whatever you're doing in the game is important enough that it needs to be done every day. So a lot of those things are just going to sort of occur naturally with practice. Now, if you're going out and you're playing once a week with your friends just to have fun, that's cool too. You're probably going to at least keep your skills at about the same level, but you're not going to be building on those skills and you're not going to be improving those skills. And if you don't play enough, your skills are definitely going to degrade over time. My last tip is to try to learn as much as you can about the game that you're playing. And if you're a Call of Duty player like me, I've got lots of videos on this channel that you can check out on the screen right now. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new and you want to see more videos like this in the future. As always, thank you very much for watching.